Show.
Welcome to Tom Rhodes Radio Smart Camp. Happy new day, everybody. Happy new month. Happy new year. Happy new you. Hooray for humanity. Oh my God. I'm in a good mood. I'm finally coming out of my depressive funk, the mental shithole that I've been struggling with for a while, and life is better. Life is happier. And I'm very happy to say that I'm going to be putting out more episodes of the podcast. And I'm writing jokes again and performing, and things are pretty damn good right now. I hope things are great in your life. I hope whatever struggles you've been dealing with, you're overcoming them. You're focused on the light and the happier side of life than getting bogged down with all the bullshit that you get hit with by people in your life, people you work with, the news, the collapsing democracy, the state of the world, all that shit. It's a struggle to remain a cheerful, happy person, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it together. And today's a kind of an interesting surprise. This episode today fell in my lap. Really, there's a guy that. He's been so supportive of me on Instagram and other social media. Well, I don't fuck with anything else, really. Little bit of Facebook, but mostly Instagram. And I think that's probably a big source of why I'm feeling better, too. Like, I'm trying to avoid the news and then, I enjoy Instagram, but other than that, I'm really trying to stay off social media and focus on human relationships, putting smart things in my brain, reading, watching documentaries, reaching out to friends, spending time with my mommy, playing Scrabble with my mom on our phones, little things like that keep me cheerful. But this guy's been really supportive and cool, and I followed him back on Instagram, and he's traveled to interesting places. Seems like a funny guy. His name is Danny Fingers, and he's got a band called Danny Fingers and the Thumbs. And he reached out to me, and he's got a brand new album coming out on February 22nd. And he asked if he could be on the podcast. And he lives in Bend, Oregon. I told him I love Bend, Oregon. I don't know when I'll be back there. And he actually flew himself at his own expense to Las Vegas so he could be on this episode and promote his new album and meet me and meet you, my little tribe of people that I appreciate. And you guys have really helped me so much in the past year, and the listeners and people who've reached out to me, and the people that support me through Patreon for the podcast. So that's another reason why I'm committed to just being a better person, putting out episodes, I'm going to end the radio silence now and get more active in my own rescue and my own happiness. And all of you listening to this now have helped me immeasurably, like you'll never know. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. He's a really cool, funny guy, and it's my pleasure to present to you now the one and only Danny Fingers. Danny Fingers, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Danny?
Doing good.
That's not your real name, right? That's your stage name?
That's my moniker, yes.
Okay. Are you a guitar player? Is that why you're Danny Fingers?
I sing and write all the songs for Danny Fingers and Thumbs, and I play guitar as well, but it's not so much...
Danny Fingers and the Thumbs is the name of the band.
Danny Fingers and the Thumbs!
I love it. You flew here from Bend, Oregon today to be on my podcast.
Yes, yeah. Just did a direct flight from Bend, and here we are at the Rio.
You wanted to promote your album? Tell me about your... Yeah. You just came out with a brand new album.
Yeah. Just came out. This is my third album I've done. My first album was kind of like an acoustic rock and roll, kind of maybe acoustic punk, similar to the Pixies or something like that. Second album
the Pixies.
fairly folk, and this one's actually more directed, like, it's a little more 80s influence, new wave, like synth type of
little synth rock.
music.
Do you think that is the synthesizer guitar thing coming back? What's that called?
The guitar.
Exactly. Is the guitar coming back?
The guitar. I think it could make a comeback. I would love to have a guitarist in my band. That's for sure.
Tell me about the new album. What's your favorite songs on there?
Well, yeah, I love this new album. So I've taken a new direction that's kind of fitting with my voice. I have a fairly excitable type of voice and stuff like that, so I feel like it goes well with kind of more dancey type style music and stuff. I actually have a song called "Take Me In" on this album that's based in Vegas and all these like crazy wild times I had with this ex-girlfriend last year who was based out of Los Angeles. And yeah, the whole album, I love pretty much the whole album. I started working with this guy based out of Bend who is actually better than any of the producers I've worked with in Los Angeles or New York or whatever, plus his heart and his soul's into it. So we become like a unit, like a team. So we're already working on the fourth album right now. We're about half. We have like 5 songs or something for the fourth album.
Cool, man.
Well.
And you live in Bend, so this is, you feel like the Bend sound that's coming out of you is more connected to the earth and realism than.
I feel like it's, I kind of cut my teeth in New York City with my band. I had the Dell guy from the Dell commercials. I don't remember if you remember the Dell commercials, dude. You're getting a Dell, Ben Curtis or whatever. Anyway, he was in my band, and we just played extensively through New York. But right now,
so that's where you cut your teeth.
Yeah.
In the clubs in New York.
Right. So. Now it's.
I respect that.
Thank you. Now it's turned into a situation where I've developed a songwriting skill set where I am influences it, but it influences it after the fact. So I go experience life, and then I bring them into my songs. So where I'm recording doesn't seem to matter quite as much.
Well, that's cool, and that's should be the basis for the best jokes that are written too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where you live an experience, or you just have a story to tell, and you turn it into a song or a joke.
Yeah.
So give me an example. Like, what's the best story within a song, and what is the new album called?
Right now, it's going to be called "Love is Always a Sneak Attack." So.
That's the name of it?
Yeah. It was kind of based on the truth of that whole matter, yeah. So, yeah, my last girl, it just happened out of nowhere,
And this was the girl from L.A. that you went wild with in Vegas?
Yep. We went here 4 or 5 times because L.A. was pretty shut down during the time period. And
Vegas didn't give a fuck. Yeah, actually, I mean, Vegas didn't give a fuck, but I tell you, as far as being a comedian and doing shows in Vegas since last... April 2021? No, I think May 2021. Vegas they've been more strict about masks for people in the audience.
Oh, really?
Than California. Like, I mean, they'll tell you to wear them unless you're drinking or taking a bite of something.
Right.
But, like here at the Comedy Cellar, when was I here? Like 6 months ago. The doorman stepped in the middle of some guy's joke and went, "Hey, I'm serious, you people over here about the masks," and like. Wow, Vegas?
Wow. Yeah. We experienced
But
that.
I just heard that things are going to not be enforcing it like that in Vegas. They're just... I think everybody's kind of made the decision of the reality that there always is going to be some kind of virus we're going to be dealing with.
Right.
So I think our sphincter muscles are... finally starting to untighten right now.
Right.
We're soon we're going to be able to, breathe again and go out like normal.
Right. Yeah.
Like I thought you followed me on Instagram and you've been a vocal supporter of mine.
Right.
And so I followed you back. And I thought it was interesting during the pandemic. Was it in 2020 you went to Croatia?
Yeah, Croatia and Turkey.
And I thought that was balls out. You went to Dubrovnik.
Dubrovnik and Brač and Hvar and Split.
Splits. Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds like a cool place.
Yeah.
Dubrovnik is a place that I've always been fascinated with because I've always loved travel magazines and travel programs,
Right.
and it just looks like one of the coolest cities in the world. Dubrovnik.
Dubrovnik
It's right on the water.
is
Like, looks like it was
beautiful, beautiful, yeah.
Looks like it was a fortress city at one
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It has all that. It's beautiful. Like the cobblestones. It's kind of larger cobblestone, like stones on the
Like break
on the
a wagon
streets
wheel,
there.
large
Yeah,
cobblestones.
yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city, and they since it was Game of Thrones was filmed there, they have like a lot of touristy type of things. So I ended up taking a ship, like a Game of Thrones ship, like through and out into the sea, and they were referencing a lot of Game of Thrones thing. I haven't seen the show, so I was just enjoying the view.
I tried to watch that show.
Uh-huh.
I've talked about it on this podcast before, but episode 1 of Game of Thrones, they throw a boy off of a roof of a building.
Oh God!
And I thought, oh well, this is disturbing. They just
Right.
killed a child.
Right.
Maybe this isn't the show for me. And then a couple years later, everyone's just raving about this show, it's addicting. Oh my God, it's the greatest show ever. So I was on the road somewhere, and I'm flipping through the TV channels, and I come on HBO, and oh hey, it's Game of Thrones. Let me give this another chance. They burned a 12-year-old girl alive at the stake, or maybe she was 13.
Oh, Jesus.
To like please some war god. So the only 2 times I looked at Game of Thrones, they were killing children.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
But Peter Dinklage seems like a cool guy, and from what I understand, he's
Is that the guy who does it? Yeah.
He's the little person.
Okay.
And apparently he's unhappy with the new Snow White.
Oh, is he? Okay. LPA's up in arms as far as they'll go.
So what drew you to Dubrovnik? Do you have like family lineage there?
No. So it was just Croatia. So I had a girlfriend in Poland for 8 years.
Wow.
So I spent about 25%, 2-3 months a year, every year for about 8 to 10 years. We broke up after 8 years. But I've actually been back to Poland since we've been broken up, which I just absolutely love and can't say anything more about a country.
When I lived in New
all
York
of
City,
Europe.
I went on a couple dates with girls from
Polish?
Poland.
Okay, yeah.
Like girls from Poland.
Oh, really?
And,
Okay,
and
cool.
they were magnificent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stunning. I mean, all the Slavic women are just really gorgeous. But yeah, Krakow, Poland's like one of my favorite cities on the planet. Warsaw is also fantastic. It's kind of like the New York, LA of Poland. And then Krakow's more San Francisco, where it's just architecturally, it's just gorgeous, really beautiful. So,
Oh my God, I want to check it out.
Yeah,
Did
there's
you ever
actually
get-
a club called Spilania 1 or something like that. I'm going to be on, Dave Hill, comedian Dave Hill.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to be on his show. But
And Dave Hill's going to play in Poland?
but yeah, so he's played twice. He played twice, like within a course of a year and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I've told him I love Poland and stuff. So I think he loves it there too. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really special, amazing place. It's about 4-1 on the currency. Architecture's great. The people are so sweet. They're just like, they're known to be some of the nicest in all of Europe. Just really kind, not very guarded. They like to go out. There's great nightlife. It's a pretty special, magical place. And when it comes to cathedrals and stuff like that, I mean, they're stunning. They're just absolutely stunning. Gold everywhere and stuff. My girlfriend lived in a town called Częstochowa, which has the icon of the Black Madonna, which is like the icon of the Virgin Mary. And it's this painting, and it's a little unusual looking painting, but they actually changed the wardrobe on the painting, and people do large pilgrimages from all over Poland, like, hundreds of miles.
To see this Black Madonna.
To see this Black Madonna. And it's a healing place. It's a place for healing. So
Right.
there's a bunch of crutches and different things on the wall suggesting.
So it's like that, I forget,
healed.
there's a place in France where it's supposed to be a healing church.
Oh, really? Okay.
People throw down their crutches. And...
Oh, wow, yeah. So it's probably similar to this.
Have you ever been to there's like some underground Catholic churches that were like carved into these salt mines?
Oh, yeah. Those are amazing. You know, I've yet to have gone. Yeah, the underground salt mines.
There's these salt mines, and they carved Catholic cathedrals underground.
Yeah, they're incredible. They made like chandeliers out of the salt, all this kind of stuff, and you have to go way down in the ground, and it was a whole like small salt mine like palace that they created down there. I'm gonna have to go there. Auschwitz, I haven't gone to either, but I'm not quite sure if I want to.
Yeah, that's that's got to be a heartbreaking day killer.
Right.
It would like I've gone to the Anne Frank house a few times.
Oh, have you? Okay.
And that's on such a small level, but it's still heartbreaking, and it really stays with you.
Right.
Right. And the Holocaust Museum in Washington D.C. will ruin your day.
I've been to that, yeah.
Well, you see all the shoes. It's just it'll ruin your day. It's heartbreaking,
right?
And especially if you're, just a compassionate person or even a person with a brain.
Right.
And then in Los Angeles, I went to there's a Holocaust Museum in Los Angeles.
Oh, is there?
And I went.
Is it off of Wilshire?
It's near the Grove.
The Grove, okay.
In that area.
Okay.
Before I went to Israel in 2019, I thought, whatever, need a little refresher course, or just out of respect, I should do this. and again, just then the rest of the day you're red eyes and misty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough seeing that kind of stuff, and I also believe that there's like possible,
What were some of Poland's positive contributions to the world? Like, I never understood why. When I was growing up, it was always Polish jokes. Like
yeah.
Why were the Poles picked out?
It's kind of an odd thing because, they have like a 99% literacy rate in their country, which is pretty kind of unheard of. Some of the most brilliant people that I've talked to are just, from Poland that I've met are just like, they're absolutely brilliant. They have great computer programmers, all, brilliant people. I actually had an opportunity, my ex-girlfriend, she taught English at this school in Częstochowa, Poland, and I was the American guest. So I had to go in there for about an hour and answer all these questions from all these like 11, 12-year-old kids or whatever, and they were like just phenomenally intelligent and like asking all types of really pointed questions about America and stuff like that. So, and the one kid, he busted out a drawing, and it was just like this insanely perfectly looked like a photograph or something. So yeah, they get a bad rap, but it's pretty unfair. And
there's so many racial stereotypes are unfair. Like fried chicken and watermelon are two of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, I love
Who doesn't like fried chicken and watermelon? It's like saying, oh, that person doesn't like diamonds or bars of gold.
Yeah.
what? So what is the most wild and or most enlightening experience that you had in Poland?
Wild and enlightening experience that I had in Poland.
Or traveling the world anywhere.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, everywhere I've been has been an adventure. So I went to Europe 4 times in 14 months before the pandemic, and then I went twice during the pandemic. Once 2 summers ago, Croatia and Turkey, like we were talking about, and then this last summer I went to Greece. Okay. But as far as the entire experience for me, like it has just been so impactful. It was very impactful to be with that Polish girl, and mówię po polsku. I can speak some Polish. I've like really been able to ingratiate myself in that society. Poland has like 95% Polish people. So when you're there, their culture is very kind of intact. So everything's very done in a Polish way. So I'd say that would be probably the most enriching thing, is just having a connection with an actual Polish person. She was very religious too. So we'd walk past different churches and stuff.
Religious people are fun because, they really want to get their money's worth from to equal the guilt.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I always found when I grew up Catholic, I always found that Catholic guilt intensifies the pleasure.
Something taboo. Yeah, I agree with that.
Didn't you play for money on the streets? Weren't you like busking?
Yeah, I've busked in Krakow. I've busked in Berlin. I've busked in Amsterdam. I've busked all over the place. Yeah.
Tell me about that experience, busking through Europe. Because I met an American woman who, when I lived in Amsterdam, she was working her way around Europe. Like she had lived in Amsterdam for like 6 months.
Oh, wow.
But I forget, she was in Spain before that. And she had like flown herself over and then would play on the streets nightly for, coins.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. It's a pretty special thing. Like, I mean, to kind of garner an audience, a lot of times you're going to probably have to try to get mic'd and stuff like that. I did it more just with just an acoustic, like guitar and just my vocal. When I did in Częstochowa, which...
It's better than robbing people.
Speaking of robbing. When I was in Częstochowa, I was surprised. It's a little bit more of an impoverished city than Krakow or Warsaw.
That's in Poland?
Yeah, that's in Poland. Częstochowa, the holy city that I was talking about. And people were more generous there. Their currency is the zloty. So it's not, they're not on the euro there, but they were being a lot more generous over in Częstochowa. So when I bust in Krakow, these guys came by and I was like playing and I had got a tip, and these guys threw down to tip me. So I hear the change hit. So I'm like thinking, oh, fantastic. I'm looking up and they swooped all my money out of the bag.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That
was not fun. So,
wow, I was maced the first time I went to Paris.
Oh yeah,
guys tried to mug me, and I've had some lot of scrapes traveling.
Yeah.
Near, like wow.
Yeah, actually, one time I was in Paris. I think the more you travel, you get more street smarts and stuff like that. You kind of have to. In Europe, it's delightful, it's beautiful, you can go get a baguette, you can get some cheese, but you can get a knife in the side as well. So there's some rough people and stuff, and this guy was trying to like get money from me inside of this bar, and I had a couple drinks or whatever, and he's kind of like trying to hustle. He's like, yeah, give me that money, blah blah. So I pretended like I didn't understand him, and I started ruffling through my money to get a drink, and then I started asking him to buy me a drink. So I was like, I don't have any money, and I started complaining and making this big deal because I knew he was like trying to like possibly rob me, and he just like fucked with his head and like he took off. It was pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Bali with Ashna, my wonderful ex-wife. It was our honeymoon, and we were on a scooter, and this cop in the little booth pointed at me to pull over, and then he brings me into the booth, and he had a laminated piece of paper, and it said you could either pay the fine there on the spot or go downtown. And he's pointing to me, and I go, let's go downtown. Let's go downtown. Let's talk to everybody. I got all day. Let's go downtown. And the guy keeps shaking his head no, and he's pointing at the money option, and I'm going, no, downtown. Let's go.
That's great. And then he didn't
finally
care.
Broke down, and then he eventually let us go.
Yeah.
And I drove that scooter back to our hotel because I rented it for the day. And paid for a private driver with a van. It was only like $100 for the day. To have a private driver in a van that had a sunroof. And, sometimes the rich white guy way is the way to do things when you're traveling.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I'm going to be a local and take a scooter. Yeah. You're going to have to bribe a cop like a local.
Yeah.
Let's get to meet some locals in the jail.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, traveling's interesting too because you can kind of do it on different budgets. You know what I mean? Like plenty of times I've had to kind of do more of the hostel thing and stuff. But now that I've gotten
old, give me some stories. Give me some travel stories.
Some travel stories.
We became friends on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I assume you've listened to one or two of episodes of this podcast, and you said you'd fly yourself down to promote your new album.
Thank you.
And I'm boom, here you are.
All right.
And the thing I thought we had in common was you're a traveler and you're seeking experiences to be a better creative person.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Give me some stories.
So, one time I was in Budapest. And Budapest is beautiful. They have all the amazing bridges there. They have the big thermal baths. One's called Széchenyi bath and stuff like that. And at night they have these Sparties, like these huge parties that they throw at night. There and all the different tubs and stuff. So anyway, I went to one of those parties and it was pretty crazy. Like, people get really drunk at them. There's lasers shooting everywhere. You're surrounded by all this medieval, like, amazing architecture and stuff. And I'm just kind of swimming around with the Red Bull vodka in my hand alone. And I'm walking past these people and they're just having sex right there
Wow,
in the pool. So I was like, oh my goodness. So
Hungarians.
So I was like, this is wild. Yeah, this is pretty nuts. And then I went a little further and there was another couple having sex
really?
in the pool. Yeah, in the Sparties. Because it's just nighttime and people are just going absolutely nuts. So yeah, then in Budapest, the next day I woke up and I was just like pretty disaster after drinking too much the night before. So I was like, all right, hair of the dog. I'm going to wake up and try to get after it to feel better. So I kind of drank quite a bit, and I start going into this place, and the bouncer of this place said I couldn't come in with my water bottle or something, and I dropped it, and he like kind of like freaked out on me, and then he like shoved it in my hand, so he handed it back to me, and I dropped it again, and then he kept on just handing me this. And at this point, there was like a crowd of people watching this. And I was like 3 sheets to the wind and stuff. And I started almost being like Don Quixote or something with my water bottle. And like people were watching and it was really funny. And he just kept on going back and forth. And I thought the guy would give up eventually, but people were laughing. I was just kind of playing into the whole scene. And then finally at the end, he took my thumb and just bent it back and just like possibly broke it. It seems to be fine now, but it's
he fucked you up.
He fucked me up, rightfully so. I was asking for it, but yeah.
Oh, so you're like clownishly not taking the water at one time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It felt like a Charlie Chaplin skit.
Yeah, well,
it was pretty fun.
That's a good way to meet the gentleman's nightstick. Did you get a song out of this experience?
I did.
That's where you got the name, Danny Fingers in the Thumbs. It's from that cop. Where was it? Budapest.
In that case,
twisted your thumb backwards.
Yeah, in that case, it would be Danny Fingers in the Thumb because I'm only one thumb is.
Did you ever see the movie The Pope of Greenwich Village?
No, but I've heard about this
classic
movie. Yeah,
film.
It's a good movie.
I remember one of my favorite films growing up. Mickey Rourke, and then Julia Roberts, Eric Roberts, her brother, plays this real fuck up, Paulie, and they try and rob. They do this job. They stole from the mob, and the boss of this little mob unit his name is Bedbug Eddie. And for him to do a Bedbug Eddie on you, he takes one of your thumbs.
Oh God!
So Paulie fucked him by trying to rob from them.
Oh, okay.
And they had to cut off one of his thumbs.
Yeah.
So in the whole, everybody used to do an impression of this movie in the 80s. They got my thumb, Charlie. They got my thumb.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, when I say Danny Fingers in New York City, many people say it's a mob name. So yeah,
Danny Fingers in the Thumbs.
Yeah, well,
but I mean, I think that's a really important name because our opposable thumbs is how we dominate the rest of the animal kingdom. That we our evolution. Yeah, we'd be nothing without the thumbs.
Our evolution into PlayStation.
Yeah. So you're from Bend, Oregon? You grew up there?
I grew up in Houston, Texas.
Oh man, I love it. It was some of the purest cocaine available in America.
I've heard. I haven't indulged myself, but yeah.
I haven't done hard
So I
drugs
did
in
stand
years,
up. I've done stand up off and on for
Where?
for
Did
about
you ever do
20
the
years.
Laugh Stop?
All the time.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
But I hear the Babbitt Coke was good. Mark Babbitt.
That's where that line comes from.
Is it? I'm sure it is.
I used to co-headline there with Hedberg.
Yeah, I saw all your shows there.
We did that like 3 times. And then I headlined there after that a bunch of times, and I love Houston.
Close to the winter time, you guys were there.
So many good friends there.
Yeah.
From the comedian world.
Oh God! I mean, the comics in Houston. I mean, it is just absolutely insane. The talent pool that they have. Brian Hersey, who's a close friend of mine, is just.
I love Hersey. I did
one
a
of the
military
funniest
tour
comedians ever, and he took a long time off to write a book, and now I guess he's coming back. So it's cool.
Oh, that's great news. I did a military tour with Hersey.
Oh, did you?
It was booked by this woman out of Houston.
Oh, wow.
And the gig, it was horrendous pay. It was like $300 for the week or something. But we got to do 2 bases in Germany, and then one in Sardinia and another one in Sicily.
In Sardinia?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow. That's one of the places.
And I remember he and I rented a car
so
we could drive around and see Sicily. And we're trying to get back to this base, this naval base, in time for the show. And like it would say like Catania this way, the arrows on the street. So like you well it's to the right, and you go to the right. But the way their arrows were, that wasn't. If it's pointing to the right, it doesn't mean right. It means straight. Apparently.
Oh, wow.
So we were just driving around circles on this island. But also, we went up to the top of Mount Etna, and there was snow, and then there was lava. And snow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fire and
Tell
ice.
Hersey I said hello.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really
yeah,
good guy.
I love Hersey. Yeah, I can't wait for him. He's been going after it, like in the secret group they have down there, and so he's been popping up quite a bit and stuff.
Good. I did that once.
Yeah. Oh, did you play down there? Yeah.
Have you ever been to Lightning Hopkins' grave in Houston?
I have not. Blues musician, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You never heard Big Black Cadillac Blues?
Yeah, I've heard that, I think. Yeah.
Oh, baby. Come on back. Because you got something to mind that I sure do like, and that's my black Cadillac.
I like your baritone.
My black Cadillac this morning. That black Cadillac with them white wall tires. He tells this story at the beginning of the song about he had a shitty T model Ford forever, and it's cool. The song you got to hear this. If you never heard this song, look up Lightning Hopkins. Black Cadillac Blues, Big Black Cadillac. It's something like that.
Really?
And he tells this like 5-minute story before the song, and it's great. But it's because it's from a live track.
Right.
But at the beginning of the track, he goes, "I'm the man that is the Lightning Hopkins, and I'll tell you what I done. I don't know how I did it. I had this T model Ford." I'd go doop doop, people would look on. They wouldn't even look at me. And he said, "I don't know how I did it, but one day I saved up my money and I got me a Cadillac." And he tells a story about pulling up next to like a stop sign or a red light where this young girl is. And then he gives her a ride. And then she asks him later, she goes, "I know you don't know me, but if you don't mind trusting me to take a drive."
Right.
And so he lets her take this drive, and then she goes and picks up this dude. And then he sees the dude is driving his car. And then he goes into the song.
Oh, that's funny. That's interesting.
Beautiful.
That's
song.
Cool. That's cool.
And you know what else they have in Houston that's a point of
Nice
interest
premise.
is the funeral museum.
Funeral museum. Oh, really?
There's a funeral museum.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't
And
seen
they have
that.
a big section on the popes.
On the popes? Okay.
Yeah, in the Catholic Church in the Vatican, they have these little instruments. It's like a little hammer to see, like, to tap the Pope on the forehead to see if he's dead or alive.
Oh, wow.
When they're like really old and shit.
Oh, cool.
And that was cool. And then they got all these different caskets and funeral procession cars.
Right.
They got the Mercedes that Princess Grace's body was transported in Monaco.
Oh, wow.
Fascinating museum.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then there's this little exhibit of, clever things people have done at their funerals.
Uh-huh.
And I loved Rodney Dangerfield, and they have the card and cookies at his funeral. There's a little card in it, had a caricature of Rodney Dangerfield, and then like a real like red tie. And then everyone got milk and cookies.
Oh, really? Okay.
He wanted everyone to be eating milk and cookies
During his funeral.
During his funeral.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
So they've got the card and one of the cookies there.
Have you been to the Manil Music
Let me
Museum?
just make this point.
Yes.
It's kind of a common theory that Adolf Hitler stole Charlie Chaplin's little mustache look because he wanted to make himself more loved to the people of the world. And I just want to put forth the theory that I think Donald Trump stole Rodney Dangerfield's red tie thing for the same reason. But instead of I get no respect, it's give me total respect or die.
I love that.
It's just a theory.
Yeah. Yeah. God, Houston, I haven't been back for a little while. But
So that's where your family is?
Beautiful, yeah. Rothko Chapel. Have you ever been to the Rothko Chapel? That was Rothko, like the artist Rothko. Yeah. And it's kind of like all black in there, and people go in there and they meditate. And it's right next to this other like modern type of, or postmodern museum, the Manil, which is fantastic. It's
I think I've been there because there's an amazing art museum I went to in Houston.
Yeah, it's in the middle of a residential area and stuff. It's
I
really
went
cool.
to that one.
Yeah.
I went to that one. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's cool.
I was never into Rothko until I saw the Simon Schama BBC series, The Power of Art.
Power of Art.
They're all like 30 minutes long, and they're all on YouTube. I've talked about it before. The Caravaggio one is amazing. The Rembrandt one is amazing.
Is it?
And then the Rothko one, I never had an appreciation for Rothko until I saw he would like stare at these paintings for hours and days before he would lay on any paint.
Yeah.
It just it looked like someone got a paint roller and just did like big broad colors, but he put a lot of thought into it.
I know you love the Stones. Are you a Beatles fan as well?
Yeah, man, and
they have the big statues of the Beatles. Have you seen that in Houston? They're fantastic. Have you seen it in real life? Oh my God, it's freaking amazing. They're like probably 80 feet tall or 100 feet tall.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So if you ever saw downtown Houston, they have that large violin player statue. It's the same artist. His name's David Addix. He was friends with my dad. So, yeah, but he did these huge things of the Beatles. They're fantastic.
Wow, I got to see that next time I go to Houston.
Next time you go.
I got so many friends there, I need to make a trip to Houston.
Yeah. Houston, I love Houston.
I love Houston.
Good food.
And it's a great baseball city, too. Great food. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in Bend, Oregon?
So my whole family is lives in Bend. So my mom's there, sisters and brothers and all this stuff. And after the pandemic started hitting, I was living in New York City. I didn't want to be stuck in a small apartment, have to pay all this money, and then just be stuck in this apartment getting depressed and
everything's closed.
Everything's closed, and it's so expensive in New York. So I moved back, and yeah. So
in 2020, you moved back.
Yeah. So I haven't been back to New York for 2 years. Yeah. So,
what a great place to go, because I was dating a woman who lived in Portland.
Oh yeah.
When the pandemic hit, and I was in Portland like the weekend before the pandemic hit.
Oh wow!
And I flew back from Portland to LA on the Monday, and then on that Friday in March 2020, everything shut down.
Oh wow!
So she's from Toronto, and she went back to Toronto for however many months, and then she came back August 2020, and I bought a car and drove up there. We spent August 2020 just taking these epic drives all over Oregon.
Yeah.
And I had never explored the interior of Oregon. Oregon is one of our most amazing states.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And like the whole western side of it looks like Arizona, Grand Canyon type deserty mountainous terrain.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Crater Lake.
Crater Lake's
is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And took 2 trips to Bend.
Oh, you went to Bend?
She has a friend that has a house right outside of Bend, and she had horses.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
One of these horses had a crush on me and kept rubbing its face on me. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
I mean, you're a pretty good-looking guy.
Well,
let's not kid ourselves.
I'm driving the horses wild.
Yeah, Bend is interesting. So it's kind of gotten taken up by a bunch of
hipsters.
No hipsters. I'd prefer the hipsters and the artists versus the Silicon Valley pricks.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't know because there must be like a big influx of people from California.
Yeah.
Because there was one morning when we were there, I had to go to the post office, and I went to the post office, and then I'm driving back to the hotel, and it was a three-way, or I'm sorry, a four-way.
This was in Bend.
Bend.
No. In Bend. Okay.
Four-way stop. And a green pickup truck, old beat-up Ford Ranger pickup truck, pulls up to the stop sign, and he looks at me and he gives me both double fingers, and he's going, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." And my first thought was, "Oh, he's familiar with my work." But when I analyzed the situation afterwards, like the only thing I could figure out was the California plates, he must have thought I was one of these people moving to town, driving up the property values. But hey, dude, I'm just, a little quick injection of cash into your local economy, and I'm gone.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, people, back in the day in Bend, it was just like so peaceful. Everybody was so nice. But now people are flipping people off, like on the freeways and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely changed. The whole sentiment of the town is completely flipped.
It's a great place to live, man. I mean,
but it's a wonderful place.
The climate is more dry and sunny than Portland.
Yep. Yeah.
And there's that right outside of Bend. There's this big rock climbing mountain.
Smith Rock.
Rocks.
Yeah, that's a famous
We went
spot.
there. That was like incredible. And like people are climbing up the side of this mountain, like just amateur, regular humans.
Yeah.
And with the ropes, like you see in Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah, they do huge slack lines there too, 500 feet up and stuff like that. I have a friend who does it blindfolded, so it's pretty crazy.
Wow, there's no reason for that.
Yeah, and we have Mount Bachelor as well, which is a beautiful mountain there, and then Tumalo Falls, which is like this incredible waterfall. So if you ever go back, you gotta.
Oh, I'll be back. I really love Oregon.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And the other thing I like about Bend, Oregon, is the last and only Blockbuster Video is there.
Yeah.
It's cool to go
selfies there. Yeah,
it's cool. And I heard I follow them on Instagram. They followed me back.
Yeah,
I heard they do comedy shows there.
Yeah, they were doing comedy shows. Now I think that's over, but they were doing stand up there.
Yeah, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the West, and what are your plans for the band?
Plans for the band. Well, at this point, I'm working with this guy, Trevor Martell, who did all my songs for this album that's coming out, and I'm probably going to be putting out 2 albums this year. And so he's going to be touring with me. We're going to probably have other like musicians and stuff, but we're kind of looking into moving to Nashville. I haven't even been to Nashville, but he's been there and stuff, and we have a pretty good array of music that we can offer. So
I had a really good friend of mine, a musician, singer, songwriter, Charles Ezel, moved to Nashville 10 years ago, and then or maybe it was like 12 years ago, and then he moved out of there like 2 years ago, and he said I moved to Nashville because I'm a singer songwriter, and then after living there for 10 years, I realized I wasn't the only one with that idea.
That's funny.
So, but your parents are in Bend. You could live in the garage in Bend. Your mom.
My mom lives there. Sisters and brothers. My dad passed away. He actually ran for governor of Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, against John Conley.
Oh,
the guy who got shot with Kennedy. Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
So my dad was in Life magazine and stuff for 100 most influential people in the United States and stuff. And
was he an oil man?
No, he was a lawyer. He was an attorney. And
I'm sorry your father passed.
Yeah, thank you. He Yeah, he was very...
I'm envious of when I see people who still have their dads.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too. But, I feel like he's always with me and stuff. But he used to have to tone it down for his speeches because he would create so much fervor and stuff like that. And he was very...
In what way?
And just the way he, presented his speeches. He was so powerful.
Women throwing panties at the stage, or people getting pitchforks and chasing after the non-whites.
He was a champion for civil rights and stuff.
Oh, good.
And during that era, he was like a far left liberal Democrat. And during that era, it was considered pretty courageous to put civil rights as one of your main platforms and stuff. He was asked to be on John F. Kennedy's cabinet and stuff like that.
Wow, that's cool.
But back to the panties. When it comes to the panties, he had during his campaign he was in a hotel and they planted a prostitute in his room to try to slander him because they knew how powerful he was and stuff like that. So my dad ran out of the hotel room in his boxers or underwear and was hiding behind a bush or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny story.
I think that's a worse picture. What's that guy doing in his boxers behind that bush? He got some kind of fruit fetish? Get away from that lemon tree, buddy.
That's funny. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And nobody else in your family had political aspirations?
No, my little brother, he's a lawyer down in Houston, and he might have some political aspirations, but I'm not quite sure if he's going to get involved in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's your driving force in life and your life as your creative mindset as a musician?
Driving force for my creative mindset as a musician. Well, since I've been doing it for a long time, I just want to keep creating awesome, magical songs. I kind of have created a music type that's uniquely my own, I would have to say, where I kind of ride the line between sentiment and humor with my music. So a lot of them are, based on travel. There'll be funny things, but there'll be love involved and some of the songs are very danceable and happy. So I want to continue the path of writing down a lot of my experiences and turning them into songs.
Okay. So, can you sing any of the new songs for us now?
Oh, I don't do any acapella.
Well, okay,
I'm going to give you
let's go
some
through the
clips.
song titles on the album, and then we'll go from there. Give me the song titles.
All the song titles?
Yeah, from the new album.
From the new album?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to look them up. Jeez. Take Me In.
Okay.
Luck Upon Your Wishing Well.
Take Me In is you're out in the winter, Tahoe, it's cold outside.
It's Take Me In.
No, I heard that Jimi Hendrix had...
That's a song about Vegas.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Jimi Hendrix had a friend in Sweden, and they went to his grandmother's house. It was out in the country, and it was freezing in the middle of winter. And he wanted to stand next to her fire. And that's where he got the inspiration.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
I just want to stand next to your fire. So everybody thinks it's, some sexual, sensuous reference, but he just wanted to stand next to the guy's grandmother's fireplace.
Yeah, so that Take Me In song, that's about Vegas. There's another song called...
and that's from your wild... So what happened on that wild weekend? You got all these songs
it was many weekends.
Because I tell you, I never thought of Las Vegas as a romantic city.
It was romantic
until
as hell.
The girl from Portland, I met her in Portland, and we had a great weekend together. And then 2 weeks later, she flew to Vegas, and she spent a weekend with me. So I planned all these amazing things. I always thought the Eiffel Tower in Vegas was a joke, but I took her to the top of the Eiffel Tower.
As a Francophile, that's pretty funny.
And I've been to I've kissed 4 women at the top of the real Eiffel Tower.
Oh, I thought you were about to say the fake.
No. I had never been to the fake one, and I always thought, I'll never go there. But then if you look at Las Vegas in a romantic point of view, and you're sizing things up.
It was
great. I took her to the Mob Museum downtown.
I haven't been to that.
That's one of my favorite things in Vegas.
I'd like to check that out.
I took her to the Neon Museum. Is also really great for photographs. It's It's all these old Vegas signs, and it's, on a little deserty thing.
Right.
It's like a graveyard of the old Vegas signs.
Wow.
Took her to the top of
I've heard that's really cool.
Took her to the top of the Eiffel Tower. The Italy is at the MGM Park.
Yeah.
And that's a great place to go for lunch.
Is it? Okay.
But then the famous Korean chef Roy Choi, who he had all these Korean taco trucks, Korean
really? Oh,
fusion,
yeah, in
Korean
Los
fusion
Angeles, right?
and taco trucks all over LA. They were like the most popular food trucks.
Yeah.
So he opened up in the park MGM Grand a restaurant called Best Friend.
Oh, okay.
And it's right next to Italy.
Okay.
And
it's a fusion Korean type of thing? Is that what you're saying?
And it's like they got a Kung Pao lobster.
Like okay, interesting.
It's amazing.
Because I remember that about a decade ago when I was living in LA. I lived in LA for quite a long time. I think he would just tweet out where he was.
That's exactly,
Be like
huge
line.
like 10, 15 years ago. That was that was his flash mob way of.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think it's like, bulgogi tacos.
Right.
Really tasty stuff that the guy does. And so that's a great place to eat. Emmeriel's in the MGM. Here at the Rio, they have Kiss Mini Golf.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's like glow in the dark.
Oh, it's here in the Rio.
It's glow in
I
the
think
dark.
I saw that on your Instagram at one point.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Like a year or two ago, I went there, and then they're rocking Kiss songs while you're playing the mini golf. It's great.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's like all kinds of fun, interesting shit here. And since I have a car, it's a whole new place. Like, there's a place I never knew there was a Koreatown here. I'm sorry, not Koreatown. Chinatown, forgive me. And it's not like a Chinatown in San Francisco or New York. It's more of like a mini mall Chinatown.
Right. Okay.
And there's a comedian who lives here who's done some food writing, and he took me there earlier last year, and I've eaten there every time I come to town now.
Oh, really?
The place is called Shanghai Taste.
Shanghai Taste.
And it's in Shanghai Plaza.
And that's your favorite city in China.
It's my favorite. I love Shanghai, and the one of the things I love about Shanghai is the dumplings.
Yeah,
they got these amazing dumplings, and then specifically, there's this one kind of dumpling, and they're called soup dumplings. And you got to be careful when you bite the thing because it has hot soup,
right?
Like the liquid, and if you bite into it too hard, it'll shoot all over your face and your clothes and everything. So you kind of got to like. It's hot. You kind of got to nibble bite it,
right.
and take off a little top bite so you can sip the soup out of it. And then there's like a pork ball in the center, and they're amazing. And they also do scallion pancakes, and then Shanghai beef noodles.
Okay.
So like the noodles and the dumplings are what I love the most about that Shanghai food.
Wow.
And
sounds like
although in Shanghai there's a restaurant called Sichuan Citizen, which is like Sichuan food. In Shanghai, that's my favorite restaurant. But in Vegas, I've been going to the Shanghai dumpling place.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
It's incredible.
That's really cool. I think they have a Polish restaurant here too. So I've been to
There's
Polish
so much
food
good
here.
food here.
Yeah,
there's a Thai place I love. I can't think of the name of it. Oh, and another romantic thing. I took her to the Pinball Hall of Fame.
Okay,
cool. Pinball Hall of Fame is really cool. And then for the best view of the Strip, there's a bar on top of Mandalay
Bay. Yeah, I've been there.
That bar, and it's cool. It's a cool bar.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It reminds me of like a bar in Shanghai or Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like got hip hop and they got like exotic girls are dancing usually on blocks. But there's a outdoor balcony that's also the smoking area, and that view, you got the view straight down the Strip.
It's insane.
That's the best.
So have you ever stayed at the Cosmopolitan?
No, but I love the
balconies on the Cosmopolitan.
I've been up on the balconies.
Are just insane. We were playing Frank Sinatra music, just blaring, and we were just in our little love affair thing, and it was just magical up there. I mean, I just love it. That's written in one of my songs.
Oh, cool! Yeah, a friend of mine had a room, like a suite there, a couple years ago, and he invited me up.
Oh, did he? Okay.
And The balconies are really long, and there were 2 couches on the balcony. And those cosmopolitan balconies look down on the fountains of Bellagio.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then across the street from the fountains is the fake Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And that's for artificial stimulation. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Like, you can kind of go out there and, time your orgasm to the fountain. If you time it right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, Vegas is really magical. Yeah, we were here like in the midst of the pandemic, so it was so quiet. We had the whole place to ourselves, and it's the desert. So the desert, I think, really lends itself to have like a really kind of pure energy or something like that. Because I've spent a lot of time down in like La Quinta and Palm Springs area and stuff like that, and there's something about the desert. I'm not.
The desert in the winter is in January and February. In the winter is when the desert is in bloom.
Oh,
so
really?
Not this January, but last January. Again, with the woman I was seeing, we took a few trips out. We went to Joshua Tree twice, and then we drove around the Salton Sea. You ever been around the Salton Sea?
Oh, love the Salton Sea.
And
Me and that
these
girl
old,
that
like,
took Vegas,
weird
we
up,
went there.
dried up ghost towns.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Of like
out
mobile
there.
home parks. It's really weird. You drive around the eastern shore of the Salton Sea, and then on the bottom, you come up on that eastern side, or is it on the western side? There's like a immigration check or something because you're not far from. You're not far from Mexicali, the border town. But then you come up that east side, and what is it? Mumbai or Bombay City was one of the really.
Oh yeah, Bombay Beach.
Bombay Beach.
Yeah,
really frightening looking little crystal meth trailer parks. And then I forget the next one was great for photos, whichever one is right above that. But then you go all the way up. There's a town called Mecca at the top of above the north of the Salton Sea. But on that last bit of the lake or the sea, there's a place called Mecca Beach. And then when you're looking east, you can see the mountains on the other side.
Oh, beautiful!
And at the end of the day, when the sun is going down, like the golden hour, it's just spectacular. It's so spectacular, breathtaking view.
And it got contaminated. Something about the fish or something like that. They're actually putting, I guess, 50 million, I don't know the exact number, but 50 million or something like that to kind of restore it a little bit. But back in the day, people used to actually water ski in there and stuff.
Wow, no shit.
Yeah, so they have these posters of like, come to the Salton Sea, and it's like these, 1950s type of posters.
And also is cool is there's a lot of date farms all around there, which are
and date milkshakes.
Just these like acres or hectares of like palm trees that give dates.
Yeah.
And it's so just Arabian looking.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah. Is there, and then if you can't ever afford to go to the real Mecca, there's a little town of Mecca, California. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Haven't been there.
Any other experiences about Vegas or
in Vegas? Yeah, I mean we just would. One time we came here for 5 days, and each casino kind of has a different energy and different vibe.
Yeah.
So we went to 5 different casinos in 5 days, but it was kind of timed awkwardly because we started at Treasure Island, which is kind of mid tier, and then I think we went to Cosmopolitan, but then we wanted to stay, and then we went to the Orleans. So I took her from Cosmopolitan, which was fantastic, and then downgrade kind of to Orleans. But we love the Orleans. So they have so much character.
I love the Tropicana. Cool. Like, I mean, it's
that's her favorite place. She loves the Tropicana.
Tropicana rooms are really affordable, and it's a short walk to all the great casinos. The MGM's across the street. New York is adjacent. And I like playing at I do that Laugh Factory there twice a year.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
That's
Actually, 6-7 months ago or something, we saw your name there. I was like, oh, that's Tom Rhodes. Yeah, it's funny.
apparently I was there right before the pandemic hit, and I was on a billboard.
Yeah, I think we saw it.
And then so like they didn't change the billboards for like a year.
Oh, nice.
In Las Vegas.
Hey, look at that advertising.
So, for all of 2020, I kept getting texts from people.
Oh, that's awesome.
We were like, hey, dude, your thing's still up.
That's cool. Another hotel you kind of turned me on to is the American Hotel in Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
So because of you, I ended up going there. Now I've been there a couple times in Amsterdam. And that place is amazing. That cafe and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just the building itself. It was built in the 20s. It's like Art Deco.
Art Deco,
style, kind of Art Deco Gothic or something. The Madi Hari, she was like a spy in World War II. She was like a dancer. I think she was Indonesian. She had stayed there, and she was like,
"Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
She got
interesting
secrets from like German officers and stuff." There's like the Madi Hari suite there.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
When I moved to Amsterdam for this Dutch woman, and I was with her for 2 years, and then she broke up with me. I was about to move back to the United States, and this network in Holland was looking for an American to host a late night talk show, and I did this audition night, and I got the gig.
Yeah.
And me and the girl, we had broken up, and we were still living together for like a month. And I don't know if you've ever lived with anyone after you've broken up with them, but it's kind of excruciating, you know.
Right.
You're just like waiting for the time to run out of the clock, and sleeping with your backs to each other. It's just like really not pleasant. So I got that TV show, and once the money kicked in, I moved into the American Hotel, and I lived in the American Hotel for the first 3 months that I did that television show.
No way. Right there.
There's only, if you look at the side, there's a canal on the side, and there's like 5 rooms that have balconies that are overlooking the canal.
Really?
So I got one of those.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
I've had a balcony.
So I was working on this TV show in Amsterdam. And I'd have these long days, and I'd go back, or I'd have my coffee on the balcony, and I love the American Hotel.
Yeah,
that's
place
a good
is
reminder.
Cool.
I'm going to go back there in the end of summer. I should stay there.
And they call it the American Hotel, I guess, because of the Art Deco thing. A Dutch man went to America and like got really turned on by all the Art Deco influence and brought it back to Amsterdam. Called it American Hotel.
I love your shapes. I love your edges and curves. He got turned on by the architecture.
Yeah, one of the front desk staff guy, he just mentioned kind of out of nowhere. Actually, we went out to like smoke a joint like over by that canal right there. And he started talking about it. He's like, "Hey, let me know if you need a woman up in the room."
Oh wow!
So like apparently they will openly like search out women for you. I don't do that kind of stuff, but like it was thanks for the offer kind of thing. But now the American Hotel has turned into the Hard Rock. Did you know this?
No, is it the Hard Rock Cafe?
Now it's a Hard Rock has taken over that property.
You're kidding me.
And here in Vegas at the Mirage, the Hard Rock is taking over the Mirage here, which the Mirage is such a classic place. But yeah, they're taking over that too.
Well, I think they sold off all the European Hard Rocks, but the Seminole Native American tribe in Florida owned all of the Hard Rocks in the world, and I think they incredible. They own a race car in NASCAR.
Wow.
And they owned I think they sold off all the European Hard Rocks about 5 years ago. I'll have to fact check that.
Right.
I should back up some of these wild claims of mine. So, who are your musical and literary influences?
For me, I love Jonathan Richman. Love the Pixies. Love Violent Femmes. Love all the 80s music, Pet Shop Boys, Tears for Fears, Depeche Mode, all that kind of stuff. Literary influences. I mainly, the limited reading that I've done has been biographies. So I've read the Bill Hicks biography. I believe the one written by his brother. That one was fantastic. That was really good. I loved the Steve Martin biography, Born Standing Up.
Great book.
Very heart-wrenching towards the end of that.
The story I remember from that Steve Martin book, when The Jerk came out. He had a big party, like they went to the premiere, and then after the premiere, he took a bunch of his friends and his parents to dinner, and his dad never gave him credit for anything.
Yeah.
And one of Steve Martin's friends asked his father, "So, Mr. Martin, what did you think of Steve's movie?" And he goes, "Well, he's no Charlie Chaplin, is he?"
Holy shit.
What a cock.
I know.
And I watched The Jerk. I watched The Jerk a couple years ago. It still holds up. There's still funny shit in it. You watch other movies like I watched Young Frankenstein. It didn't really make me laugh. There was a few old comedies that I loved that I watched where I was like, not as funny as I remember. But The Jerk, oh my God!
It's one of the funniest movies ever.
What a classic!
I love that.
And his cock father,
Opti-grab.
Navin R. Johnson, sounds like a real bozo.
Yeah, it was actually so. LA's magical. It's kind of gone through hard times for you. It's really great. You've sounds like you're loving LA.
I love it now, and I used to hate
getting up
it.
on stage. Yeah, and I kind of hate it. I've been to fucking Europe so many times that I get over to LA. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it has magical things that kind of reveal themselves randomly.
But one thing, as I traveled around the world, all these comedians in Europe, Asia, Australia, a lot of them said to me, "Man, one day I'd love to go to Los Angeles and see a show at the Comedy Store."
Oh, yeah. It's become an international thing.
I thought, they just want to see a show at the Comedy Store?
Right.
And I thought, I have the ability to perform there,
In the early 2000s, I performed there. But the early 2000s, the Comedy Store was, dead. There's some great shows
what
that
room
I did
you
there.
go
So
in?
I've done OR and Belly Room and stuff like that. I've never done the main room. But it's a pretty magical place. But what I was going to say, because we were talking about The Jerk, is Book Soup right down from the Comedy Store on the Sunset Strip is amazing. And I go there and I see Born Standing Up, the Steve Martin book. And I open it up and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I look to my left and it was Steve Martin standing right next to me. Yeah. And he signed my book. And
oh, wow.
I was a bit reticent with my personality towards him because I've heard some stories that he could be a little
I heard he was
surly.
A cock.
But he was nice as hell to me.
Well,
he wished me luck on doing comedy.
See, you never know until you meet the person, whatever you hear about him.
Yeah.
So tell me about your band. Where do you perform and where can people see you?
Well, right now we just finished the album, so we're looking to book some dates. You can go to my Instagram, which is the Danny Fingers. And I'm going to be start posting stuff. But I opened up for Rufus Wainwright,
Rufus Wainwright.
Yeah, who's considered one of the.
I'm a big fan of his father, Loudon Wainwright.
Oh yeah,
There's a live album called "So Damn Happy."
Okay,
which I love this album.
Really?
By Loudon Wainwright III. Beautiful.
I saw him live, and he's quite the performer himself. Yeah, but it's amazing. Yeah, so I played the Aladdin Theater with Rufus Wainwright.
That's in Portland?
That's in Portland. And then I played the Moore Theater, which is humongous, 1,700 seats. It was sold out and all this stuff. But that's the same theater that Pearl Jam, during one of their music videos, he jumps from the rafters at the Moore Theater down into the crowd. So, it's pretty spectacular and pretty crazy. But
had they not caught him,
right,
that band never would have had a future.
He did a lot of terrifying jumps like that. But yeah, so the thing
I went to this
with Rufus
Pearl Jam.
happened,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
This thing with Rufus happened. Another fortuitous moment because it's he's known to cover Hallelujah, like the Leonard Cohen song.
Yeah.
He also does a fantastic cover of the Chelsea Hotel. So I was walking past the Chelsea Hotel with that Polish girlfriend during that period of time, and he walked back, and I go, "That's Rufus Wainwright." She didn't know who he was, but I was like, "I have a CD. Should I go give it to him?" And she goes, "Yeah, go, go, go." So I literally just chased down the street, and I stopped Rufus Wainwright, and I'm like, "Here," and I give him the CD, and we made kind of a quick eye contact, and he said, "Thank you." Now, most musicians, they don't even like put on your CD or whatever. So 2 months later, on BBC Radio, he calls my album his album of the summer.
Wow.
Yeah, and like this kid's got something, he's brilliant and all this kind of stuff. And then about a year or so later, like I got contacted by CAA saying come open for him. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So he listened to the CD and then you hit the bullseye and he asked you to open for him when he played in Portland.
Yeah.
That's fucking, what a great story.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. Yeah.
Well, hooray for Rufus Wainwright.
Yeah, he's such a cool guy off stage. He's like hilarious and like cracks jokes. Like he's really cool, like down to earth.
I bet his audiences
really
are
cool
really
dude.
Smart and giving.
Oh yeah. His audiences are fantastic. I mean, he's really kind of a refined artist. Like he's very demure and stuff. Especially, kind of on stage, he jokes around, but off stage, he just cracks jokes. He's great. Yeah.
What is?
We went to Mary's strip club.
Oh, really?
Afterwards, yeah, he invited the band to go to Mary's strip club.
Oh, cool.
Which was pretty
Because
interesting.
he's gay, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, not that would have anything.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a strip club in so many years. Like, wow. I guess that's a good thing.
Here,
But I can't even. It seems like going to Mars for me now. It'd be so foreign.
So here at the Rio, actually, that girl that I was dating,
She was a stripper?
No, but here at the fucking Rio, downstairs, we were. She would joke around about all times. She was very funny, but we were listening to Aerosmith, and it's like, you got nothing underneath that overcoat or whatever. So we stayed here at the Rio, and she comes down in an overcoat and just like lingerie, and she like showed. It was pretty cool.
Good. Well, I'm glad this place brings back.
Yes, exactly.
My memory, I've only been to the Rio since this Comedy Cellar opened. And,
That's so cool
and
they
I'm playing
started
here a couple
it.
times a year now.
That's right.
And it's great. It's just like their New York City Greenwich Village room. And all the comedians
Oh,
only
is
do
it?
15 minutes.
Okay.
So you're on with like 4 or 5 other comedians. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's rad. That's awesome. Yeah, that Comedy Cellar is so hilarious.
And if you come to Vegas and you're driving, bring your own coffee machine. Because there's only one Starbucks in Rio, and there's like always a long line in front of it, and they're asking like $5 for a small coffee, and nothing worse than waking up. I couldn't imagine being hungover, just me normal,
right?
like waking up and have to go down there and stand in line for 20 minutes
be awful.
to pay $5 for a cup of coffee, where 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So I bring my own coffee machine.
Do they have the crazy back table equivalent to the Olive Tree Cafe here? I remember going there one time. All the comedians sit there in the back of the Olive Tree.
Oh yeah, and
in the cafe.
Yeah,
and I'm at LA Comic.
The Olive Tree is the restaurant above the Comedy Cellar in Greenwich Village.
Right. So I was at LA Comic, and I knew all the LA comics and hung out or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the next day I was opening up for Nick Swartzen at Caroline's. And so I go into the Comedy Cellar, blah, blah, blah. They don't know me because they're fucking New York comics and all this kind of stuff. So I just fucking plop down on the seat like, I'm a comic, I can fucking sit here or whatever. And Jim Norton jumped on my ass. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Or something like that.
Yeah.
He like gave me shit.
He tossed you out of the booth?
Yeah, but I told him I was playing with Nick Swartzen, which ended up not being one of the best sets in the world. I got some Jersey hecklers that night, and it was probably one of the worst bombs I've ever taken, to be honest. And Jimmy Fallon was actually there. We hung out with Jimmy Fallon afterwards. He did a bunch of shots of Jaeger.
He likes a tipple.
And it likes a what?
A tipple.
What's a tipple?
It's a little drink.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's known to go after. But we went to this really cool place afterwards that did karaoke. And there was like a private secret room. So it was like me, Nick Swartzen, and Jimmy Fallon like going back and singing. And then there was a couple other people. So it was pretty
What are your
interesting.
go-to karaoke songs?
I like what do I play? Crystal Ship by The Doors. I usually cover that, and then I also cover science fiction double feature picture show from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My go-to karaoke songs are Dear Mama by Tupac.
Oh, nice.
That's my number one. And then my number two karaoke is Highway Star by Deep Purple. Mm-hmm. Love that song.
Oh, cool. Very
okay,
cool.
So I got to get down to my show shortly. Let me ask you
Thank you so much for having me on the
questions.
podcast.
What is the best laugh you've had lately?
The best laugh that I've had lately? Shit. Oh, my God. I can't think of it. There's something.
Okay, you got any jokes?
Do I have any jokes? Jesus Christ. Not going to think of right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have a plethora of
Nothing
jokes. I have to re-go through my jokes.
Nothing is giving you a chuckle?
I'll give you a terrible joke. You want to hear a joke?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so women they get these hairstyle called ombres. You know ombres?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's like at the bottom of the hair, it's like blonde, but it's just kind of right at the bottom. It's kind of like, and it's like dark, and then it fades into like this blonde. So it used to be a style. So like when they have it red, like at the bottom, that's a Les Ombre. Les Ombre. I thought I could only give you a terrible joke because
that joke made me cough.
It's so fucking bad.
Okay, and in closing, do you have any words of wisdom or advice that you'd like to give to the people of the earth?
Yeah, my dad, he was such a funny guy. Like one of the things he did. Here's one of his jokes.
Governor Fingers.
Governor Fingers. Governor Yarbrough. So my real last name's Yarbrough. But people said to him, they said to my dad, he goes, who would ever want to live to 100? And my dad said, a bunch of 99-year-olds. But to leave...
I like that.
Leave on it's pretty hysterical. To leave on a note of advice for the world, it comes from my dad as well. Well, two things. One, deviate from the salacious. So stay away from salacious people. And the other one is paranoids live longer.
I like that. That's good. That's great. Danny, beautiful words. Hey, my brother, wonderful to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on radio.
Yeah.
And I always shake people's hands at the end of the conversation. I think it was Mark Maron.
Thanks for the fucking COVID, bro.
Who said that as I shook his hand. Yeah, nothing like a handshake on radio. But no, man, wonderful to meet you, and thank you for flying down
thank you
from Bend, Oregon to be on my podcast.
Yeah, and I hope all your listeners, add me on Instagram. Once again, it's The Danny Fingers. This new album I'm pretty proud of, and it's a lot of fun.
What's the name of the new album?
So check it out. Love is Always a Sneak Attack.
By Danny Fingers and the Thumbs.
That's right.
Long may you run, brother. Long may you run.
Karate kick, baby.
Karate kick, baby. I love it.
Tom Rhodes, you're a funny man. Tom Rhodes, you're an international comedian. Tom Rhodes, karate kick, baby, oh yeah. Tom Rhodes, you're a groovy dude. You go all around the world, telling jokes to all of the people. You are an international comedian. You're funny to everybody in every single country in the world. Tom Rhodes, I like you very much. I think you're talented and very wonderful. Tom Rhodes, you're the best guy in the world. I wanna be your friend, you should call me sometime. Here is my phone number, 603-644-0048. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tom Rhodes, you're an international comedic sensation. Tom Rhodes, I like to listen to your podcast. Tom Rhodes, you're the best man to ever walk on the earth.